Welcome, welcome, welcome. Man, it's a Monday. It's a fresh week. I don't know, people. I'm just excited for this week because, just in case you don't know, I'm trying something different for the next 3 weeks. We're going to get into the topic, but I'm trying something for the next 3 weeks. And what that is if you can see here, what I'm doing right now is for the next 3 weeks, I'm just going to try it out. I'm going to make Monday the UFO day, UFO topics. Tuesday is going to be the Bigfoot topic with this week, Jessica Jones, who's coming on my channel. She's great. If you don't know her, she's fantastic. You're going to love when she's on. And then Thursday is going to be the Paranormal show. Are ghosts real? Do you believe? I almost forgot my own title of the show. And I'm going to have Ghost Dragon jumping on, and I'm hoping that maybe Paranormal Pixie Laura could jump on if she's available. We're going to talk about ghosts. Do you believe in them? Why? Has anything strange has happened to you lately? So that's going to be fun. And back from the old school days, Friday is the Mandela Effect Memory Party, where we all get together. We talk about memories that we feel that has changed on us, and we're just going to have a party with the Mandela Effect, talk new ones, old ones, doesn't matter. It's an open party. It's about having fun. That's what's great about this wonderful community, that you guys are watching this now are open to all subjects. So every Monday for the next 3-4 weeks is UFO Monday, Bigfoot Tuesday, Paranormal Thursday, and Mandela Effect / Matrix / Time Machines Fridays. So if it works out, I'll keep it that way. If it's not, because I want to sometimes get each category its own. Now, guys, I did try to get some guests for today, but every UFO person who calls himself a ufologist, which that's in the word that anybody calls themselves. I mean, what technically really defines a ufologist, right? I mean, everybody has a different definition of what a ufologist is. Almost all ufologists turn me down, don't want to come on. Of course, with the subject, senators move to require the release of U.S. government UFO records. They don't want to come on. Well, screw them. You know, there's a lot of people that I hate to say the word cowards. You know, they don't want to come on with somebody who's maybe more open-minded, that's not going to jump on every storyline that's out there. We'll talk about it. So, no guests today. Nobody wanted to come on. But hey, what's about? Senators move to require the release of U.S. government UFO records. That's the hot topic for the week. I've been researching the hot topic. And let's see here. Where I got this. Oh, that's not I'm looking at myself. Wow. Look, the government is cloning me. I'm being cloned by the government. That's a major UFO mistake there. Okay. Senators move to require the release of U.S. government UFO records. July 14th, the Senate in the coming days. Let me get a little bigger so you can see yourself. And if any one of you wants to read this article yourself, and I do got videos. But anybody wants to read the this story, you can. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The Senate in the coming days is expected to consider a bipartisan measure that would compel the U.S. government to publicly release records relating to possible UFO sightings after decades of stonewalling. Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Democrat, has teamed up with Senator Mike Rounds. That's cool name, huh? Mike Rounds, a Republican. Well, they had to put their parties in there. In a leading effort to force the disclosure of the information related for the government officially calls unidentified anomalous phenomenon, or UAP. UAP, UFO, it's all the same fucking shit. Their 64-page proposal is modeled after 1992 U.S. law spelling out the handling of records related to the 1963 assassination of John F. Kennedy. Their plan to offer measure as an amendment to sweeping legislation moving to Congress that would authorize U.S. defense funding for the fiscal year beginning on October 1st. So they want more money. They want more money. They want our taxpayer money. Schumer backing likely will carry sway with many of his fellow Democrats. Rounds is a member of the Senate Intelligence and Armed Service Committees. For decades, many Americans have been fascinated by objects mysterious and unexplained, and it's long past time they get some answers. That's our taxpayers' money. I mean, we should. I mean, they work for us, right? No shit, right? Schumer said in a statement on Friday, adding that the public has a right to learn about technologies of unknown origins, non-human intelligence, and unexplainable phenomena. All right. What do we think of that? Now, let's bring a little reality into this all. This is the year 2023 is where a lot of senators, Congress, people coming out going to be running for president, are all coming out right now to get their names out there. Why? Because in 2024, they're all going to be putting the push because they want to be reelected or they want to have a new Congress, a new senator, a new president. So everybody's coming out. Everybody's coming out. See, the idea is what's going on right now. In true reality, people, not all, but the majority of people are getting fed up with the Republican Democrat Party. They're getting kind of fed up. You got the crazy ass Trump. You got Sleepy Joe. I mean, we really have no good bodies on either side of the party. So a lot of people, what they do is they'll exercise by not voting. They're going to stay home next year. A lot more people are going to stay home. So what are they going to do to make up for some of those people? Hey, I'm going to try to release the UFO disclosure for you guys so you guys can bow down and think I am the coolest motherfucker out there. I'm the coolest guy in the UFO community. So I can replace some of votes that aren't going to vote because they're tired of everything and bring in you guys to vote for me. It's all political. Everything of what's going on is political. They have stacks of classified information that can be disclassified. They do. They already do. They already have it. It's like right there in the borderline. So what they'll do is, to look like they're fighting for you and they're giving what the American people want, they'll pass something. And when they pass it, they'll already have the files they're going to show you. But do you truly, seriously, ask yourself, do you truly think one day they're going to tell us there is a ship from outer space? I mean, unless one landed in the middle of the street, all cameras where they have no choice. But if they have a choice, do you truly think? And if they have something that has this major technology, do you think they want the world to know? If the United States has it, you think they want the world to know? Because you know why? You know how we're stronger than another country? We got bigger guns. We got bigger weapons. Nobody wants to share technology. The only time people share technology is when you're trying to make a profit. You're selling it. It's already out there. Everybody knows about it. Then, of course, everybody jumps on the bandwagon and they're going to share it. But what do I know, right? What do I know? I'm just a stupid guy. I'm not actually, I'm running for governor. I'm going to be doing a special show filling out my paperwork that I will be running for government of the state of Washington. I am going to be running for governor, and then I'm going to do a live show filling out the whole paperwork of me running for governor. But let's look at one of these videos of the Senator Schmucker, shithead. Let's just call him shithead. All right. So that senator, we're going to call him shithead. All right. Where's Senator Shithead? Here we go.
It's a familiar UFO story, but this time with a very different twist. Congress is listening closely to otherworldly claims about the U.S. having recovered alien craft.
When you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
That's former high-ranking intelligence officer David Grush telling News Nation he is blowing the whistle on a government cover-up going back over a half a century, but admitting he has not seen any craft or bodies. But all the UFO hype, enough to prompt Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to propose new legislation that would set a 300-day deadline for agencies to find any records and turn them over to a review board that could declassify them.
Either they're telling the truth, and that is something that obviously would be the biggest story in human history, or we have people in really important positions of government who are crazy.
Now, the Pentagon has denied those claims that you heard.
They're crazy, including himself. They're all fucking crazy. They're all crazy. They're all of that. They're crazy. Okay, Rubio, you're not crazy yourself, but hey, they think they're doing something good for us. And, you know, he did lose where he wanted to run for president, but he didn't get enough thing to outdo Trump to run for president. So he's looking for any popularity he could get. That's just, that's just a fact.
And Grush has denied our request to interview him, saying he won't talk until after he testifies in front of Congress. That could happen within the month. All of this, a very bizarre story, but one that seems to be headed to Capitol Hill.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's.
Let me see here. Do you think 300 days is too long?
And breaking.
Hold on. I'm trying to. I want to read what he says. Why can't we just force them to hand it over immediately? Why can't we force them just to hand it over? Because the American people keep voting in the same people, the Republicans, Democrats. They won't vote in independents. They won't vote them for people that really, truly care about you, about us. We just vote in the people that they'll say it, but at the end of the day, they'll do whatever their party wants until they get some independence into the White House and stuff. Nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's ever going to change. I don't care what they pass. If they pass something and if the government still don't want you to know it, they'll reclassify it as something else. They'll name it something else. They'll say, it's a security risk for the America, and it'll be cover up. I mean, that's just a fact. Well, here, let's do another video on another point of view. This one is called, "Will the U.S. release?" Let's see what another news channel say about it.
Southern is back with us with the interesting stories of the day, Chad. And Richard, it's our favorite topic here, UFOs. And I know you have an update for us today.
This is front page New York Times.
Real quick. David Productions, come to my channel tomorrow. My live show is on Bigfoot, and we have Jessica Jones, who's been in the field for a long time. And we're going to talk about Sasquatch and why shouldn't they come clean about the Sasquatch too? What's the holdup? So Dave, trust me, come back tomorrow. We're going to have a kick-ass Bigfoot show. Jessica Jones, if you've never seen her before, she is just a wonderful, wonderful person. So please come back tomorrow.
This morning update, okay? America's paper of record. The Times reporting that U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is tabling legislation in the U.S. Congress to create a commission to declassify U.S. government documents about UFOs and extraterrestrial matters in an attempt to force the American government to share whatever it knows. This is a bipartisan effort unprecedented stuff here. The Times says U.S. President Biden would appoint a 9-person review board who would push for disclosure while protecting sensitive intelligence collection methods. Of course, the U.S. Pentagon has released these videos in recent years, objects filmed by the military, moving in ways we can't understand. This most recent push, though, comes amid a number of high-ranking military personnel filing whistleblower complaints, alleging the American government is hiding non-human craft that it's had in its possession for years. Listen to Senator Marco Rubio recently on Fox News.
We have people that have very high clearances, both today and in the past, who did really important work for our government or continue to do important work for the government, who have come forward with some claims about the U.S. having in the past recovered exotic materials and then reverse engineered those materials to make advances in our own defenses and technologies. That's the claim they make. Now, I don't know if those claims are true or not. What I do know is that one of two things is happening here. Either they're telling the truth, and that is something that obviously would be the biggest story in human history, or we have people in really important positions of government who are crazy and who are out there making up stories and who are still in positions of importance. Either one is a big problem. So we've got to figure out which one of these two it is.
Well, technically, it's not really making up stories. They're exaggerating the stories, right? And that's not say they're crazy, because right now UFOs are a hot topic. There's so much money to be made. Listen, actually, I'll explain my thoughts when we finish this video, because I don't think a lot of people are gonna like some things that I'm gonna say.
Melissa, we may be closer than ever to finding out the truth here. How about that?
It's really, really fascinating stuff and kind of wild to hear. Well, if UFOs are real, they have a long time to visit our universe, and there's some new research showing that it will be around for a while.
University of Ottawa says, researchers there say the universe is much older than we think it is or had thought it is.
First of all, I'm not gonna go further into this video. Listen. As technology gets better, we're going to learn more and more about the universe, about the world. I mean, every day, every year, there's going to be, hey, it's older, it's younger, it's this, it's that. We only know up to the point of what our technology can give us. And technology improves every year. So we're going to learn something every year. So, okay, the space is old. For crying out loud, if it's 1 billion, 20 years versus an extra 2 billions, I mean, really? Does it really matter? We know it's big, it's long, and it's old. How old it is doesn't really matter. It's old. And I'm sure every year technology is better. We're going to learn how old it really is, all right? I mean, it's always funny. It's like, you know, like new theories come out. Let's hear Representative Burchett. Burchett. But instead of Burchett, we'll call him Bullshit. So we're going to have Representative Bullshit. So let me find the video of Representative Bullshit. Here we go. There we go.
So this would be a good time to bring in James Fox. He's been a regular guest with me on this program. He's a filmmaker and a UFOologist, and he just basically knows more than the rest.
Guys, he's a filmmaker. He's a filmmaker. So, hey, that makes him a guaranteed expert above all of you. Mindorked, I'm sorry. Long Island Bigfoot, I'm sorry. You guys aren't filmmakers. Since this guy's a filmmaker, he automatically knows more than everybody. Huh? Professional paranormal researcher. He probably knows more than you because he's a filmmaker. Sounds like Jeremy Corbell, right? They're from Hollywood. They all know more than every single one of us. What a crock of shit. Laugh out loud, UFO, exotic. I don't think the exotic with UFOs. Laugh out loud. I think, okay, my guard is up and ready to defend it. All right, let's see what this Hollywood video guy know a lot more than us, because we just, you know, we're just nobodies.
of us all put together about UAPs, UFOs. Mr. Fox, first I was about to do the story with you tonight with regard to what Congressman Burchett said, and then mic drop, all of a sudden, Sheldon Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, drops this tweet right before air. Let me read it to you. He says, I'm introducing new legislation to declassify government records related to unidentified anomalous phenomena and UFOs as an amendment to the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, modeled after the JFK Assassination Records Collection Act. You are the first person I wanted to get reaction from with regard to that.
Oh, just for a second, people. Senators, Congress, whatever, that's their job to introduce legislation. I mean, that's their job. That's nothing new. You know, a lot of times when you hear, you're like, oh, wow, he's fighting for us. No, that's their job. That is basically their job. It's just not all legislation they try to push is sexy with the crowd, sexy with the people, the public. So if every senator text every legislation they try to get released, nobody's going to give a shit. But UFOs? Woo, UFOs? Or what if they want to do legislation on the Bigfoot? Ooh, we might get some new ground. Because let's be honest, UFO, Bigfoot, paranormal are probably people that vote less than the average person because we know how much bullshit that gets sent to us. So, you know, if there any legislation that that looks like it's for us, woo, just for the record, that's their job. It's nothing new, people. That's their job to introduce new legislation, and they all vote on it. Oh yeah, one last thing. And this bipartisan crap, you guys ever actually hear, we pass this bipartisan, and it's like, okay, you look at one party, 4 people out of 200 voted for it. The other party, 4 people out of 200. But that's enough to call it bipartisan. You know, when you think of bipartisan, you think almost half. I always hate bipartisan because it's only 3 or 4 people out of 300 that voted on your side. But they'll call it bipartisan. You know why? Because bipartisan sounds sexy. It sounds important. It sounds like we're coming across, we're joining together. And all the reality is just 3, 4, 5 people from the other side of the party. Big freaking deal.
So I have to take a step back and talk about my meeting with former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. Harry Reid started back in 2007, the now infamous ATIP, secret UFO Pentagon program. And one of the things that he shared with me was the level of pushback that he got from the intel community regarding.
First of all, oh shit. Everybody gets pushed back, but the way he talks, because he's Hollywood, like the pushback he got, really? Nothing ever got passed, so of course there's pushback. But the way they make it sound like he's shocked on the pushback that he got, because he got pushback, that it automatically means it's real. How many freaking ideas we all have that we get pushed back on somebody telling you, Eric, that's not a good idea. Hey, Mindfork, that's not a good idea. We all get pushed back all the time. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for stopping it, but I just think that's funny.
This secret Pentagon UFO investigation. And he's like, hey, I'm just saying that we just should investigate these reports. And he literally said to me, they dug in their heels. They were giving so much pushback. Some people were fearful of even losing their jobs. So the problem here is the intel folks that have all the hard data, the classified material, the high resolution 4K satellite photographs, and I've talked to a number of people that have personally seen them, some of which have gone on camera.
Oh, probably Jeremy Corbell and that same old crew, the exact same people, the exact same company that they all hang out with. You know what I mean? They all hang out together. You know, of course, I know personally people. Oh, I know personally people. know, we all know a person. Listen. My brother used to work at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. So no, I know this. People will take this the wrong way. My brother's biggest friends were the janitors, the real people there, right? So I guess technically, and some of the janitors actually they clean the White House. You know, they got jobs. They do Smithsonian. They're all connected. So technically, my brother has an inside person, right? You know, everybody has maybe a relative or a friend, somebody who works there, and they'll use that as inside. I know a person. Really. It's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You could always 7 degrees to anybody. You can 7 degree yourself with any senator there is somehow and go all the way back to that person. So give me a break about inside. We all have inside people. My God.
There's just nothing in it for them to share that with the general public. The problem is that the better the data, the better the eyewitness testimony, the more hard it is to provide a prosaic explanation for an incident, an encounter, the less likely that the general public is going to hear about it. So I think it's a great effort. I'm optimistic that we're even having these conversations, but the intel folks just have no incentive whatsoever to come out with this stuff because they're going to have a lot of explaining to do.
Thank you for watching. Go to...
and it's so sad that these people like him, the Jeremy Corbells of the world, this is just guarantees job for them for the next 100 years for all these kind of people, because they get to go all the news channels. Like, hey, you're gonna go on Fox News, and then in 3 hours you're gonna go on CNN, and then you're gonna go on this channel. It's the same people that do all these conversations, and they all got film editing credits, or they're I don't know, they're fucking Hollywood people. It's like the same freaking people with suits, and guys, please don't take this the wrong way. And my fork, listen, none of you don't take this the wrong way. Let me take this the wrong way. But there is a percentage, there's a good percentage of people that's heavily in the UFO community that will believe a suit. If somebody comes out, he's in a suit, he's a senator, they'll follow them like to fly on shit. Look how popular Jerry Corbell is. It's true. I'm not saying you people, my chat, you guys are smart. You guys got common sense. And if there's a science guy that comes out, oh my God, a science guy comes out saying there's this, there's that. Oh, jump on that bandwagon. I have been involved in a lot of different communities, and I see different things, different communities, different type of kind of issues. I'm not saying right or wrong, but there's different kind of issues, like in the paranormal world, there's a lot of exaggeration that goes on. I mean, we all know that there's a lot of exaggerations, things that you get tapped and you got pushed down. I mean, there's a lot of exaggeration, Mandela community, there's a lot of gatekeepers, Bigfoot community, there's a lot of people who want to stay on top, and they want all the Bigfoot stories just to be with them and not with anybody else. And then you got the UFO community who's just willing to jump on the bandwagon of a suit, of a science guy. Oh, he's science. He knows what he's talking about. And one of the things I learned, and my God, I used to say this all the time too, but I'm learning that a lot of science people are saying this to trick people. And what that is I always tell people, do your own research, right? I've always say that. But now I just learned that a lot of science, a lot of suits, they always tell you, go out and do your own research because apparently in the UFO community, 95% of people who watch a UFO will never research. They'll just take the word of a person. And I'm not saying you guys. I'm not saying you guys. And my focus, like, thank you. I'm not saying it, but when we say do your research, I always said it because I want people to do their research, but learning that a lot of other people say it for a certain reason, because they say it because they know that 95% of the people are not going to do research, and they're just gonna pick the guy who they want. I'm not saying gatekeeper or their source of information as the person, and that's fine if you trust the guy you're listening to. If you trust him, you really believe in him. I can see, okay, so maybe in a lot of ways, if you're not going to be a person who's going to research individual stories and stuff, and you're going to take these sources from a main person, make sure you at least study that guy you watch to make sure that the person who you're getting this information from, that you could feel honestly in here that you could trust, because that's what it is trusting. Because there's a lot of people, we've all been through this, that people we felt we trusted, and turning out they, they were exaggerating, or they were getting too close to fame. They start making money, and things starts changing and all that. And there's a person that I'm going to show this kind of before I show this one video, I got this other video, and there's no shit. There's a video I'm going to show you. It's called Claims. Can aliens turn people into charcoal? That's an actual video. Can aliens, hold on, let me get, can aliens turn us into charcoal?
Congressman.
And this is coming from Fox News. What a title, right? Talk about clickbait. Can aliens turn us into charcoal? Well, I say, well, if you could turn somebody to charcoal, can we, I don't know, squeeze some heat or something and get diamonds out of them? Charcoal. Let's see what this is about.
Who sits on the House Oversight Committee, Tim Burchett, joins me now. So, Tim, do you know that the government has this crazy alien stuff and is keeping it?
Can aliens turn into charcoal? I mean, I don't know. I think it's funny.
From us?
I don't know about that Vegas deal, but the whistleblower, I know him. He's a decorated veteran. I know in Washington D.C.
Can I ask you guys something real quick? And we'll listen to this. When you put that in a title, can aliens turn us into charcoal? Is that like taking a hit at the UFO community? Like trying to make everybody else sound crazy, by having a title, can aliens turn us into charcoal? You know what I mean? Can that, it's almost like you feel like they're playing on us, right? Or is it just another clickbait title? Because when I was researching topics for the week on the UFOs, when I saw can you turn into charcoal, made me look at it. So it got me to look at it. Is it just a clickbait word, or do they really think that aliens could turn people into charcoal?
See, that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but in East Tennessee, that means a whole lot. Those are the Tic Tac videos you're seeing there right now. Those are videos that were taken by American military. That's their gunners, their gunner photography, and they're actually trying to follow those things, and those are some of the best pilots in the world. So either they're lying or somebody else is lying. And so I tend to go with our military men and women. I've been briefed on things, some things I can speak about and some things I can't, but that's probably a meteorite that you're seeing in Las Vegas. But,
so, what kind of things can you talk about? You said you can't talk about stuff.
Well, I can talk. Yeah, I can talk about this. Some of these craft that you're watching right there, they have no heat trail. They defy every bit of physics that we know about. They they can fly underwater or swim underwater, I guess, and they basically have no friction. and there is no heat trail, so you don't know. We don't have any idea what's propelling them. And everybody says at first, well, that's the Russians. And you know good and well if Putin had a UFO, he'd land the thing on the White House lawn, probably get out, ride a unicorn bare-chested over to the president and punch him in the mouth, and then ride back to Mother Russia. If the Chinese had it, they'd own us.
I'm sorry. A ship lands White House and Putin rides on a horse. Make that horse a unicorn. Make it a unicorn, right? Make it a unicorn and go slap Biden. How many people need to slap Biden so he can wake up when he actually does a press conference? So he actually read the plot, the words. He actually read it correctly. I don't know, horse. Slap him and get back. I gotta put something like that in one of my cartoon series. I love that comment.
I mean, in all seriousness. So you're left with one other conclusion. These things are coming from somewhere else, and this has been covered up since 1947 or sooner. We have military personnel that are decorated veterans telling us they've seen these things, and we just need to get to the bottom of it. I've added an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act to declassify all things about UFOs and UAPs, because if they don't exist, then why are they hiding them? And if they do exist, why don't we know about it?
Tell me a little bit about how you know that the UFOs fly underwater.
Well, you just saw a video that just showed that right there. There was one that just trailed, and you can listen to the pilots it's called the Tic Tac videos, like the candy. And you can Google it, and it's been on 60 Minutes, and they literally go underwater, and they fly out at the same speed, and these have been documented. And the trouble you've got is these pilots are afraid to come forward, even with whistleblower protection, because what happens, and I've talked to these pilots, they've been interrogated for over 8 hours, some of them, and then they're told not to say anything, and of course it ends up on their record. So
but that's nothing new. It's nothing new. Anybody who's been in the military will tell you that's standard. In the Coast Guard, when you're on a ship, if you see something that is unusual, you have to report it. You have to report it. You have to put it in your report. And if they don't understand it, they'll send you in a room. They'll talk about it, what you saw. Footages, what do you think? I mean, it's technically that's normal procedures. And whenever you report, you're not allowed to talk about it to the public unless you get permission from your commander in chief, somebody high up. It's not about being a whistleblower. That's just common sense. And most pilots know this. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pilots, thousands around the world, and we're not talking about half of all pilots are seeing things. You're just still talking about a tiny bit percentage. So it's not like there's this big issue of every pilot. If you break it down, the percentages of pilots that seeing things, it's very tiny. But military has procedures. And if you don't follow procedures, if you're there to get a retirement or that kind of stuff, you don't want to screw your retirement up. That's why a lot of times documentaries and videos, you see people talk about things that are a lot older because they already had their retirement. They're already out. They're already done. And a lot of things they do say when they act like they're talking about classified, they're really not talking about classified information. They're talking about stuff that maybe at one time was classified that became disclassified, because it is against the law to talk about classified information. You will get arrested. And I know people in the UFO community, I hear this all the fucking time. Well, they know if they arrest him, it's going to get worse out there. The government don't give a shit. They don't care. You're going to become bigger than you ever were. Just get arrested? No, they would just put you away. So a lot of things they do say is not classified anymore. And will this protection help you. Well, first of all, the Pentagon and military, the military won't release it. Well, first of all, the military is in charge by the Secretary of State, who is not military. Who's not military? The military is run by people who are not military. Let's get that straight. It's not the military making decisions of what can be released or not. They got people in charge too. They got to go through the Secretary of State. They got to go through the Commander-in-Chief, who are not military. So let's not pretend that military is his own beast. Now, military can be its own beast, don't get me wrong. But they take their orders from people who are not in the military. I'm not going to research now. I'm curious how many commander-in-chiefs were ever in the military. I'm sure there are some. I bet it's a small percentage. So let's not pretend the military is making decisions what could be released or not get released. The commander-in-chief is in charge of the Pentagon, who's not in the military. I get tired of military they get all this shit pounded on, like the military think they can do whatever they want. The military is not in charge of what causes things to be classified. They do their procedures. They locked it away. It goes up procedures. It goes up and up. And they have to get permission. They have to get permission to the persons in charge of the Pentagon, who's the Secretary of State, who technically has to get permission from the president. So I'm just saying. I'm not trying to get worked up. I'm just bringing the truth to you. If you talk about classified information, you will get in trouble.
I've actually spoken with pilots who said, look, I've destroyed this evidence because I don't want to have to come back and explain it to my superiors and then be subjected to ridicule.
Well, first of all, that's everybody's done that in every field, not just UFOs, Bigfoot. There's a lot of people that saw something, and it takes some people 10, 20 years to even come out with their own story because you are afraid of being criticized by the public, thinking you're crazy or not. Not just military people. That's everybody. I mean, I'm not going to speak for anybody. I'm sure Mindorked, I'm sure Cashy Chris, I'm sure you had some things that happened to you and you didn't come out with right away because you're human. You're afraid, you're in the back of your mind, you're afraid that what people are going to say. But then what happens is age does do something to you. When you get a little older, you get to a point where you just don't care anymore. You just don't care at all anymore. There was a time that, even my brother and I, with our Bigfoot encounter, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, we never did a show basically about our encounter. It was like come to a conversation, going to another show, and I wasn't ready to really base a whole show on a certain encounter because, then there's another kind of backlash. Oh, he's just doing it because they want people to come to your channel. I want people to come to my channel because we have open, true conversations. That's why I want people to come to my channel. I want people to come to my channel just because I had an experience. I don't want people to come just for that. I want people to come because you can have great conversations. You can talk to each other and have a good time. So, it takes a while for anybody to come out with certain things. So that's nothing new. It's easier to stay quiet than it is to say, because you can get in trouble, especially with corporations and stuff. You find out that somebody in your corporation is doing something illegal. They're not doing something that they shouldn't be doing, cheating the taxes or whatever. You don't say nothing because your job is on the line. The right thing it is to do is to say something, but you get fired, and you're the way, especially nowadays, the way prices are, you're one step away from living inside of a box of an alley. So things are really going to be extra quiet because the cost of living, and we know the truth needs to be free, but it is what it is. Let's continue this.
And yet it happens time and time again. And I've been told by some higher ups Burchett, we got more important things to deal with than this. And I said, well, what's more important than American fighting men and women in $50 million aircraft? We've had 13 certified close, I won't say close encounters because that's the movie, but they've had almost.
I want to read this for a second. I want to read this. I'm old, but hey, in case you, Chris, you're not old. You're 21 in my heart. You're an awesome person. I'm not experiencing synchronized brought me here at this point in my life. I'm in, if you want to talk sometimes, Eric, I work on putting puzzles together with positivity. That's exactly right. Positively putting puzzles. And that's the whole thing. This whole world is, right? Everything is a puzzle. You know, it's Mindorked said it perfectly. You know, everything is a puzzle out there. And all we're trying to do is put those puzzles together. That's why it's so great to listen to different sources of whatever information you're trying to get, whatever topic you want to hear, different sources. You want to hear what they investigated, trying to put the puzzles together for yourself. Because more you dig into something, you know, more that you might find the truth. You know, you're right. It's a big puzzle. It is a huge puzzle. You know, a lot of times people watch these government conferences and all that because you're hoping that there'll be a slip up or something, you know, piece of the puzzle. Put here. That's what we're all doing. And that's why, and that, what makes it harder is trying to find the channels that you can honestly feel you trust. So you're making sure that the puzzles you are getting are from trusted type of channels. And actually, you know what? Hold on a second. I got to show this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I got to find this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got to find this. Where is it? Hold on. I want every single one of you to listen to this short video. And I agree with this video. I want you guys to hear this.
Hey y'all, that's your Chris, my friend, coming from the tractor. Deep thoughts. If this is actually happening, and whatever happens, doesn't matter how it goes, people are going to see stuff they're not ready for. So my thoughts are that we stop fighting with each other and just help people, because that's what they're going to do. And that's ultimately what I thought I was getting in for, instead of topics, and maybe it's to help other people. I'm just saying.
That is an awesome video. Because we are all fighting the system in a way, right? We're all fighting the government system, the senators, the governors. We're all wanting the truth to come out, but we know they're not, right? You're already fighting the system. You're already fighting people who crap on thinking the UFO from outer space is real. You're already fighting that. And then when you have people within your own community that fighting with each other because everybody wants to have their research to be the main research, their topic to be the main thing, you got to stop fighting with each other on our level. I'm not talking about Gorbels and those. Those are fakes. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about our level, because Eric, I've heard this from people. Eric, you shouldn't have that person on your channel because this person is this. This person said this. You shouldn't have that person on your channel. I've heard that so many times. I'm like, I don't care if you have an issue with somebody. Get over yourself. Put your big boy pants on and start fucking talking with the conversation to get through it, because you all need each other. Well, this person done this. This person does that. Oh, I've heard this person faked this one time. Listen, everybody probably has done something that they're not proud of. I'm almost guarantee everybody has done something they're not proud of. The question is, did you learn from it? You know, you got to start giving people second, third chances and start together, because together, I know it sounds silly everybody says it. You are stronger together than separated. And I'm talking about people our level. Our level. I'm talking about the real YouTubers, not the actors and all that people that come in. You know what's going to happen too on YouTube? Because of the fucking Hollywood actor strikes, you know, they're not going to be making money right now. They're all going to flood the YouTubes, talking everything. Watch. Oh, UFOs and all that. And they're gonna like in a lot of ways, it divides the UFO community because instead of listening to each other, trying to find their own puzzles, they're going to start jumping onto all these actors and all these writers who are now going to be flooding YouTube even more because they're on strike because they need a revenue stream. I'm not saying it because they're taking the revenue stream from you and I don't make a shit being on YouTube. Freaking, I owe money because I'm on YouTube. But you're going to see a flood. You're going to see people pretending they're UFOs or Bigfoots, paranormal, because they don't have a job right now in Hollywood because they're all on strike. You're going to see it. And you are right. It has already become Hollywood. You are absolutely right, especially during the sickness era, the 3 years era. That's really even more. I mean, it really has become a big business for them. That's why we don't get pushed for channels and they all do. But you can see floods more. But what I'm trying to get as, we all know the channels that we're all on the same level. Yeah, some are bigger. Some get 100 people watching at the same time, 100, 200. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm up there of people who get 100 people watching my channel. I got 18 or 20 watching. But still, we all got to get together. If you have a beef with somebody, get over it. Get over it. Now saying that, I do have a beef, not with the YouTube channel. Not with the YouTube channel. Here, first of all, let me play this one real quick. Hold on. And I'll tell you why. That it kind of upset. It made me a little upset. But let me play this one last short video. Hold on a second. Oh, I gotta make this bigger. Let me start this. Hold on. An alien spacecraft was recovered. A Harvard scientist found UFO debris in the Pacific Ocean. Yes, you read that right. Avi Loeb is the Harvard scientist behind the discovery. He is also known as the alien hunter of Harvard. Extraterrestrial technology of the UFO has been recovered by him. The remain belongs to a UFO that crashed on Earth in 2014, revealing the project. A 2014 mysterious object dubbed IM-1 crashed off in the ocean. Loeb believed it to be an extraterrestrial object. Loeb had gone on a historic expedition along with his team. They managed to gather 50 microscopic particles. Okay. The speculars are made from a steel titanium alloy and weigh 35 milligrams. Loeb claims that its material is usually found in typical meteors. Hold on, what did he say? The guy who made this video is can't say that. This remains might be proof of an advanced alien civilization. These particles were collected off the coast of Papua New Guinea. The particles they found are perfectly round. These particles will be tested in the lab further. Does the conclude? Okay. Why did I show that? I'm not here to tell you what all of it's true or not. I'm not here to say that. But Avi just did an interview yesterday. I just watched Avi Loeb. I know this is going to upset a lot of people. Oh, who posted this? You know what? My fork. After the show, I'll find you that information and I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. When I show videos off of YouTube, I burn it off so I can show it easier. And I do that. Mind fork is when I take the video off, I do a test to see what kind of copyrights it has to see if I can even show it. So when I do that, I don't have that information anymore. But I mean, it's still in my history, it's still in my YouTube history. So I'll find that information to you, and I'll get that to you. So I'll get it to you. I called Avi Loeb's group. I made a phone call. I know he's been on UFO Man's channel. He's been on some other channels. I called, got his people, and I was like, hey, I want to interview the guy. And talking to, I don't know who exactly I was talking to. He was like, well, for him to talk to me, the guy told me on the phone that he will go on channels, tell his story. But I was literally, yes, I do that to avoid copyright strike. So a channel will get taken down. Every video I do, I have a dummy account. I test it to see what kind of copyrights. There's some copyrights that you're still allowed to show things. They just make the money. And I don't have any problems with that. But there are some copyrights that are not allowed to be shown in other countries. So it gets banned. So, you'll have a lot of issues and all that. So I do a test on every single video that I show, except I didn't download your video because I don't think you're going to copyright me. And if you do, that's fine. I should have asked you first. But when I group, they said, well, he will tell the story, but you can't challenge him. You can't ask any question. Like, first of all, what I mean, you can't challenge him. Hold on. So, you're saying that to consider to have Avi Loeb on my channel, I'm not even allowed to have him. See, when I have people on my channel, I want them to prove it to me, make me a believer in what they're saying, because I want to believe, right? I want to believe everything that he says is true, or anybody who says is true. I want to believe. Every one of us want the truth. Every single one of us wants the truth. So it's not challenging. I want him to believe it. So I'm going to ask questions. So they'll say they'll think about it and they'll come back. Well, they got back to me and says, well, they saw your channel and you're not the type of channel he wants to come on. I'm not the type of channel he wants to come on. Because I wouldn't play ball. I wouldn't sugarcoat an interview with Avi Loeb. So no offense, if you guys like Avi Loeb, that's fine. For me, fuck him. Fucking coward. If you're going to come out and say this stuff, and I want it to be true, then you got to have the balls to go on people's channels and be challenged. And I'm not challenging somebody to just prove somebody. Listen, a month ago, I was on Unidentified S4 channel with Andy. And him and Andy and I interviewed a guy who talked about space soldiers. Alien soldiers being ported over to a whole other planet. Right? Now, some people will say that guy's crazy, that guy's nuts. Right? But hey, nuts or not, he came on the channel. We asked him questions. And he might have been irritated a little bit by some of the questions. But you know what? At least that guy, I forgot the name of that guy who was on Anthony's channel. Anthony was on, he was off somewhere, so I was doing it with Andy. At least he had the balls to answer some questions that making me, trying to find the truth. But Avi Loeb wouldn't do that. I love UFO, man. I love some of these channels, but if you're going to come out, I'm not talking about other YouTube channels or saying some things that you're going to challenge every YouTube channel. But if you're going to come out to the public, to the world, and make this big statement, then you should have to accept questions and force. This same thing as we're fighting with the senators and Congress and the president. We voted them in. We expect them to tell us and answer our questions because we put them there. We voted them in. They're in the public's eye. And if you're in the public's eye, then you should expect to answer the hard questions. We should. And I wasn't saying he's not telling the truth, but I want to know more. But I don't know. Hey, oh man, I got a new member. That's awesome. Here, where's my new member thing? Here it is. That's awesome. Thank you so much, man. At the end of the day, guys, beyond that, it's not really beef. I moved on, but if you do have a beef on a fellow YouTube channel, listen, things are going to happen. Things are going to be said. Hey, listen, there's no secret that my brother and I got into a little disagreement. We did, my brother and I. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We got in a huge disagreement on how some things went down. But you know what? You got to fuck it. I said some things I was wrong. He said some things was wrong. Let's just move on, have fun. We can cry and bitch all day, but life still is moving on without you. And we are stronger together. And that's a fact. So guys, at the end of this, I'm going to end the show. Just be, I know we always say it, do be open-minded and try to, like Mindfork says, it's a puzzle. We all trying to find the puzzles. And sometimes, there might be a certain puzzle that I need that Mindfork might just come into the chat or come on live on my channel and give me a piece of that puzzle. That's all we're doing here, is just trying to find pieces of the puzzle, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get it from the government. Whatever they say, especially guys, just watch in 2024, it's an election year. It's an election year. You're already seeing people doing election talk now. So you gotta try to use much common sense. Like, does that person really care, or he's just saying this because it's an election year? You know what I mean? So beyond that, guys, tomorrow, Jessica Jones is going to be on my channel, and anybody who knows Jessica Jones Jessica Jones is just a top-notch person. It's kind of funny. I think Danny, you remember this. I was invited to Bigfoot Michigan Rob's channel, and it was Rob, and it was Jessica Jones. And I kind of hijacked the channel because Jessica Jones was so intriguing. I turned the channel over where we were talking about her, not about me. So I'm excited to get her on my channel tomorrow, so we can just talk and have fun and talk about the Sasquatch and Bigfoot, and why do we think that? Do people really don't believe it, or do they not care? Or we're just gonna go through a lot of things. What kind of proof that people need? We're just gonna go through a lot of questions, and if any one of you guys want me to have certain kind of questions to ask Jessica Jones, you can come back tomorrow, put it in the chat. But if you can't make it tomorrow, send me an email, ParanormalHighway13@gmail.com. Ask a certain question. You want to know something. She's known as the Crypto Huntress. Every time I hear that name, Jessica Jones, I'm always thinking the most underrated Marvel TV show ever made on Netflix called Jessica Jones. It was a kick-ass show. I think they moved it over to Disney Plus, which is kind of weird because Jessica Jones TV show is rated R. But I love Jessica Jones Marvel show. That's not that Jessica Jones from the TV world of Marvel. but you know what I'm talking about. So, for one last thing, I want to treat the same as gas election. It goes down, then after it goes back up, it tricks to get your vote. That's the problem. Everybody wants to vote, and every senator, Congress, and president knows that it's going to be a down year of getting the votes, because a lot of people are just so fed up, they're just not going to vote. They're going to exercise their rights by not voting. So they're going to try to trick certain communities, the UFO communities, the Bigfoot communities, the Mandela effect communities, paranormal communities, and try to get some of those people to cover some of the votes they're not going to get. So you got to be careful. Just be careful. And we're not a political show. I mean, actually, when you talk UFOs, you have to be somewhat political. Let's be honest. You have to be somewhat political, but not like Rush Limbaugh type of political show. But I will be doing the show on the day that I'll be filling out my governorship, running for governor, putting in the mail. And we'll do a special show on that. Beyond that, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. This is always fun, and I hope to see you guys back tomorrow. Please leave me a comment. I still don't get a lot of comments for whatever reason. I only average 3 or 4 comments. Danny Stanton is my biggest hero of leaving me comments, because they say the reason why we say leave a comment, because it's supposed to help your channel to get out there, and my channel's not getting out there, and I don't know because of the lack of comments or not. So please leave a comment, share it out. Let's all grow together. Not just I grow. We all grow together. Beyond that, I'll see you guys next time on the Paranormal Highway.